he has returned for one more night of unholy terror. Michael! Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
And we're recording. Give me a test there, Russ.
Test there, Russ. This is me.
There we go. And that's Russ. And we're back. Okay, we're recording. This is the final installment of our three-part Halloween spectacular.
Ooh.
Excited, Russ?
Never have I ever been more excited.
Yeah,
to finishing up.
It's a great way to celebrate Halloween by watching a marathon of movies that just get worse and worse. Just everyone just gets worse.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of like actual Halloween. The older you get, each Halloween just gets more and more lame.
It just loses its meaning, and it feels more shallow.
Why the hell did we?
Unnecessary.
I can't even eat candy anymore. It makes my stomach hurt and my teeth ache. You know, it's like.
Yeah. And last week we talked about the razor blade and the apple thing in Halloween 2.
Yo.
That was a big fear back in the 70s and 80s, despite the fact that no child has ever in the history of Halloween bit a razor blade in an apple. And this year, the big fear is that some kid is going to eat a fentanyl pill, which also has probably never happened.
Is that actually a fear that's going on?
That's in the news right now. It's like,
God.
Dump out all your kids' Halloween candy because there's going to be rainbow fentanyl pills.
Why would anybody?
Russ, this is why I only hand out Tide Pods on Halloween.
Because they look colorful, like candy, and they pop in your mouth. It's fun.
Because drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad.
But cleaning supplies, that's something that I think, good laundry skills that should be taught young.
Young, yep.
Yeah.
Fresh, keeping a fresh mouth, that's important for the children to learn.
I never got any drugs or laundry supplies as a kid, but I did get a condom in my candy one time.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see the person who put the condom in
No,
there?
I just found a condom. It might have been one of my older brother's friends or something later.
Okay, sure.
But I just found a condom in my candy later. And then my mom took it away. She's like, well, a child shouldn't have a condom. So then I had unprotected sex with the family dog.
If only you had that banana-flavored condom.
Right?
You could have used it. And you could have saved.
That's what happens.
And now Gary's.
So what happens when you don't teach your kids about sex.
And now Gary's got a lot of half-dog children just running around and shitting all over the place.
Halloween 4 was released in the United States on October 21st, 1988. The film grossed $17.8 million domestically on a budget of $5 million, making it a financial success.
Nice.
Not as financially successful as Halloween 2 back in 81, but still a success when compared to Halloween 3.
Which was a horrible flop. I think we touched upon it last week.
Yeah, Halloween 3 lost money, and this was enough to kind of revive the series.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people didn't like 3 because there was no Michael Myers.
Yeah, I think the thought behind that is that it flopped because Michael Myers wasn't in it. I don't really know what the numbers are. I just know that it wasn't a success.
Did it come out like what year is this? What year this movie come out? 88.
This is 88, yeah.
The original came out in 78?
The original came out in 78, and Halloween 3 came out in 83. So it was so bad that they couldn't get another one made for 5 years.
5 years, dang.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's about time. And then they wanted to make sure you knew Michael was in it, so they put the subtitle.
They did, yeah. And despite doing well financially, Halloween 4 received mostly negative reviews from critics.
Aww. For the same negative reviews we're going to give it, Gary?
I guess so.
We'll find out.
Halloween 4, much like the rest of the series, has developed a strong cult following since its release.
Definitely.
The film begins the Thorn trilogy story arc, which would continue in Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, and Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, which I guess they also just called Halloween 6 Halloween. I didn't even realize there was a 4th Halloween. That's fucking pretty irritating.
Well, what do you mean? This is Halloween 4, right?
This is Halloween 4. Halloween 5 was called Halloween 5, and then Halloween 6 was called Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, I think.
They dropped like 7.
Unless Wikipedia is just wrong.
I mean, they might have used 7 in like promotional posters
6.
in like Japan. Oh.
6 is just called Halloween.
How many goddamn movies are there? All right.
Basically, the backstory to Halloween 4 is that Mustafa Akkad, the producer of the original, was able to buy the remaining rights to Halloween from John Carpenter and Deborah Hill.
After like the second one? Or just after number
No,
3?
after the third one.
Oh, after the
Yeah,
third
they
one.
made a third one. John Carpenter made 3 Halloween movies.
He was attached to the third one.
Yeah, he was the executive producer and
Okay.
producer, and just
Did
like
he-
the second.
Did he do the music?
I don't know.
And the idea of that one, just
He might have
sorry,
done the music, I think.
sorry not to take harp on number
This isn't
3.
about Halloween 3, Ross. I didn't research that movie.
Okay, fine. But you've seen it, right?
I have seen it, unfortunately.
There's masked killers. That's the idea still.
No.
Oh, it's totally.
You haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it. No. Anyway, that's
about-
fine because I'm sticking with the Michael Myers timeline.
Yeah.
All right, so back to it. He
back
buys the rights.
Oh yeah,
He-
back to the
it's-
backstory to Halloween 4.
Yeah.
So Mustafa Akkad, the original producer, wanted to bring back the series, and this was supposed to be a new beginning with Michael Myers back, kind of a return to form for the series. E.g., Mustafa Akkad had like 5 kids that he had to put through college, and he wasn't going to do that shit with his Muhammad Walks the Desert movie.
Yeah, that might not sell as much as some bullshit to teenagers.
No. He saw the potential in exploiting this thing that he had rights to. So Halloween 4 was directed by Dwight H. Little, and at this point he had only done a couple like low budget action movies, and it kind of shows. The direction isn't terrible, but he's definitely no John Carpenter, and he's not really trying to
master
imitate the
horror.
look of the first 2, aside from a couple like touches.
Yeah, there were similarities in use of POV and stuff that the first one had.
Very little. It's mostly shot tight like a fucking TV show.
Yeah.
It's not shot like a John Carpenter movie with like wide shots.
Super wide shots where you're like expecting to see Michael hiding
Yeah.
anywhere.
And it makes it look cheap. And also like this movie is shot in 185:1 instead of 235:1. And I'm not sure if that's just because like at this point in the late 80s they were like these movies they're going to go on video.
Yeah, they're going to be on TV before you can
Yeah, it was
know
either that or it was just that they didn't have the budget for anamorphic lenses and filming like that.
So it's just like a more 4x3 or no? I mean, you're saying
No, it's not 4x3.
No,
it's
no,
185
still
to 1,
wide.
but it's not as wide as 2351, and it's not shot with anamorphic glass.
Is
you
that-
could tell the movie just looks cheaper.
the previous ones had shot with that.
Oh yeah, we watched Halloween 1 too. They're shot with like anamorphic glass 2351 by fucking Dean Cudney. They're like really
Nice.
well shot films, and this looks like a fucking TV movie.
Sure.
Dean Cudney, Russ.
Yeah, he's the man.
He shot fucking Jurassic Park. I particularly have nostalgia for Halloween 4 because I saw it a lot as a kid. Upon rewatching it, it does feel pretty low quality compared to the first 2. Even like the Michael Myers mask looks cheap,
Oh yeah.
which I always thought was interesting because they use an image of Michael Myers from the original film to make the Halloween 4 poster, and eventually the VHS slipcover.
Oh wow. It's all this false advertising you're expecting.
Exactly.
To see.
You rent this movie like expecting to see the original Michael Myers, and then you get this poorly produced imposter. And that's a good analogy for Halloween 4. It seems like the thing you love, but really it's just a cheap imposter.
Sure.
But at least Michael Myers is back.
At least Michael Myers is back, and they don't want you to forget it.
Yeah. I'm going to give Halloween 4 3 De Niro's. It's probably the 4th best Halloween film.
Wow. And so far, it's, for me, after these 4 Halloween movies, it's probably the 4th best Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you my De Niro's at the end, so just so you guys stick around. But Halloween 4. I think what you're saying there though is apt. Actually, we'll talk on that in a second when we get to the plot point of why Michael doesn't even look the same, because it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
And also, while we're talking about the cover and the poster, just before we get too far from it, that's a thing I feel like VHS or like makers of VHSs used to do. They put some crazy promotional poster that actually might not even happen in the movie. Do you ever see
well,
like,
I mean, like it started with the movie poster, and then it just became like the VHS.
right?
It's all just the marketing. It's trying to
That's what I'm
mislead
saying.
people.
Yeah,
It's
the marketing of that stuff back in the day to get you to pick up that VHS or go see that movie.
Also, because there was so much less media and like trailers and previews and stuff, you really had to trust the poster or the VHS cover, because you
all
couldn't
you
just like
went
go
on.
online and watch a trailer.
yeah.
Maybe you've seen a trailer, maybe you've heard about this movie, but a lot of times you were just going to see a movie based off of the poster or renting a movie based off of the VHS.
Something like this,
And
that
now
you're
it's all
listening
about the
to.
thumbnail.
Yeah,
right?
it's the thumbnail and us
It's
listening
all
to
just
us
marketing.
listening to us tell you about it
Yeah.
on the background while you study or something. All right, so Halloween.
Well, think about the way that like Red Bull is like the leader in space technology.
Okay, sure.
Why does the world organize like that? Why is a company that makes fucking taurine energy drinks, why are they involved in space exploration?
Yeah,
because of marketing. It's like the world isn't really a college of governments. It's a college of corporations.
Right. Who have the finances to make the world's largest Hot Wheels
So
car.
while our government's trying to start a nuclear war, all the millionaires are trying to figure out how to live in space. And we should probably find that pretty alarming.
Yeah, you know what? Damn, that's scarier than any Halloween movie.
Everybody who's completely destroying the planet is also trying to figure out how to get the fuck out of here. And they're not taking us with them.
Happy Halloween. That's a trick.
Happy Halloween. Ooh, spooky, scary. The government's not trying to avoid nuclear war with Russia.
Damn. I was thinking about going as a
You're going as a Azov battalion Nazi soldier?
for Halloween.
Yeah.
Do you think it's too on the nose?
It's a little bit on the nose.
Yeah.
It's kind of an offensive costume, Ross. I don't know if you can get away with that.
I don't know.
I think you should stick with the usual blackface.
I don't know. I think it looks pretty. What if I combine the two?
Be a blackface Nazi?
I like it.
Yeah.
Let me borrow your makeup real quick. Oh, and your thong. It'll look great.
And my thong. And my Nazi stuff.
Your Nazi thong.
Yeah.
You can see all that on Gary's cosplay OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Anyway, Gary in blackface in a Nazi uniform. My God, I'd pay for that. Gary, how much is it a month?
Of course you would, Russ. You're a subscriber to my OnlyFans. I know that. I appreciate it, but you don't have to.
I'm your
tell me
only
again.
fan.
All right, so back to Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Halloween 4 opens on October 30th, 1988, and there's a great opening title sequence of a creepy farm during the day with like old worn-out Halloween decorations.
I like this dusk farm equipment. Just
I like
looking
this
all
too.
sharp and shitty.
It's pretty effective opening and completely different than the slow dolly-ins on the pumpkin from the first two movies.
Mm-hmm. Which I did like those a lot.
Yeah, those are great too, but they figured out a way to make another opening that's interesting and do something completely different.
Yeah, I wanted to try to put that. I mean, it's just old sharp farm equipment. It's not really.
There's like Halloween decorations. It's an old farm, but there's like shitty old Halloween decorations that are all worn out.
Is that the thematic linkage? Is like
also fake leaves because they couldn't actually shoot this in the fall.
Of course.
And then after this creepy daytime opening, the film transitions into a foggy, rainy nighttime scene as an ambulance pulls into a big creepy building. There's like great atmosphere on this building, which looks terrifying. And then we're introduced to these EMT characters that are tasked with taking Michael Myers from this facility back to Smith's Grove Sanitarium.
Great.
Yeah, right?
Good idea.
And in this version of Halloween, Michael has been comatose for 10 years since the events of Halloween night 1978, in which he escaped and killed his nerdy little sister's more popular friends.
But then he also got shot in both eyeballs after getting shot at least 6 times.
Yep.
And then he blew up with Loomis. And that's why I thought, they were, they had died there. That we saw Michael firewalk to death. He falls down onto his face and just lays there burning. So
yeah, and he's been in a coma since then. And why wouldn't they transport him again on the night before Halloween, knowing full well he's committed murders twice already on Halloween? First in 1963 and again in 1978.
Dude.
Also, why are they transporting him? His condition hasn't changed. He's still in a coma. So for whatever reason, they have decided to transport Michael Myers on the night before Halloween. What could go wrong?
This silent psycho is not a threat to anyone. He has one trigger. It's Halloween and hearing about siblings. Yeah. And they just manage every time to just keep doing that.
He's literally never had an incident that wasn't on Halloween. Maybe just keep him in on Halloween.
You're right. It's like one thing. It would be like...
It's the only night you have to make sure he's locked up. You know what I mean? Like, don't move him on Halloween.
Yeah, don't move him around October at all. It's fine. He's in a coma. You're right.
So the security officer
Jesus.
at the facility gives the EMTs a breakdown of the first two movies. He just very lazily lays out all the exposition. And Halloween 4 keeps in line with the second film. And by that, I mean Laurie Strode is still Michael Myers' sister. But Jamie Lee Curtis is nowhere to be found in Halloween 4 because she had breakout performances after Halloween 3 that made her a much bigger name.
Was she in Halloween 3?
She played the voice on the intercom system in Halloween 3.
Okay, but she wasn't really.
Because at that point, her career was dead, and they were like, give poor Jamie Lee Curtis a role. Yeah, and then she became a big star in the 80s.
What'd she do after that? Do you know?
She was in Trading Places, and then she was in other movies. I don't remember. But she became a big name. She wasn't going to be in fucking Halloween 4.
No, she became a pretty household name.
Yeah, she wouldn't return to the series for another 10 years when they made Halloween H2O, which was also directed by the guy who did Halloween 2.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, so much Halloween. So many Halloween movies. Damn it.
There's been a lot of fucking Halloween movies.
All right.
So the EMT asks about Dr. Loomis, and the doctor tells him Loomis's role is mostly ceremonial, and he's hoping with Michael's transfer that Dr. Loomis will either transfer, retire, or die. So obviously this guy is not a big fan of Dr. Loomis.
Right.
And part of the reason why I enjoy Halloween 4, despite its flaws, is Donald Pleasance's performance as an older, broken-down Dr. Loomis.
He returns. He didn't get blown up to death.
After decades of trying to rehab an inhuman monster, then spending a night trying to kill him and being disfigured in the process, Dr. Loomis has become a bit of a ghoul.
Yeah. He's all scarred up and stuff.
So back in the ambulance...
Kind of monstrous himself.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always... I've always felt... I mean, ever since the first one... Loomis is kind of a monster. And remember I had this theory that Loomis is what tormented Michael and allowed him to learn how to drive and learn how to escape and learn how to cut fuse boxes and do all sorts he essentially
I think you're
Michael.
wrong there, but
no, for sure.
Yeah.
But he's always kind of
But
been
this is-
monstery, right? He's scaring kids from behind the bush. It's for their own good, so they get away from the Michael's house.
Well, that's just bad filmmaking. That scene's just a bad scene. But the Loomis character to this point, he's changed. He has a character arc. He's been through a lot at this point.
Right. I mean, he still thinks Michael's unsavable and a demon, just straight from hell, and so.
Well, I'm sorry if he's not, the most pleasant person in the world. He's been fucking disfigured and had a pretty.
You think a guy named Donald Pleasant would be
a little bit nicer?
Yeah.
So back in the ambulance, the EMTs give more exposition. Michael Myers has one living relative, a niece in Haddonfield.
Uh-oh, why'd you fucking talk about that near this fucking
Right?
passed out guy? Now his knuckles are cracking and he's getting all sweaty and amped up. Fuck.
Just as this is clumsily thrown out there, Michael's hand starts to move, and he kills the EMT by just jamming his thumbs into his eyes.
Does that even make sense? Was it his eyes or his forehead?
Maybe it was his forehead.
It looked like it was his
he's
forehead.
mangling
I
his
was like, I don't
face.
even know how you even doing that. It's like a thing,
Well, this kill is interesting because there's a lot of kills in Halloween 4. Most aren't super graphic, but they did reshoots, and they reshot this kill and another kill to add more gore to the movie, just like they ended up doing with Halloween 2. But it's still relatively tame, aside from this one and the other.
I mean, a deep thumb into the forehead's
a little bit gory.
pretty gross, but it's not like, meaty chunkies necessarily.
Yeah.
That said, I think for a first kill, you might as well make it good. We tuned into the dumb return of Michael Myers so that he can kill people, right? That's what we expect from a horror movie at this point in the horror movie's existence as an audience member in 1988. I want to see the kills. So
Yeah, and by 88, you've seen some pretty graphic stuff in slasher movies. Mm-hmm. So in the next scene, we're introduced to Michael Myers' niece, Jamie Lloyd, played by Danielle Harris. Jamie is having trouble sleeping. She's being consoled by her adopted sister, Ruth, played by Ellie Cornell. The ambulance that picked up Michael Myers can be seen outside the house. And this is basically how the filmmakers cram in all the Jamie Lloyd backstory she's adopted. Her parents are dead. She's sad about it.
There was a lot going on that was kind of like...
It's like, whatever, we get to it. Let's get to
inferred.
Michael Myers killing 17-year-old girls and
Yeah,
dogs.
I got a lot of questions written in my notes. Like, wait, she doesn't have parents? Wait, there's a picture of Lori? Who the hell is... What is that? Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm glad Gary's able to put it together because... I mean, I was too, but there it is, people.
Yeah, well, Rachel puts Jamie to bed, and then Jamie goes in the closet and starts looking at pictures of her dead mother, which are just publicity photos of Jamie Lee Curtis from the original Halloween.
Right, it's like her headshot.
And then Jamie walks across the room, and we catch our first glimpse of Michael Myers in Halloween 4. And the mask they made for this movie looks terrible. It's really bad. It's like way too clean and white.
Super fresh. Yeah, super fresh white. Like Michael
Jackson. It doesn't
Jackson.
have the features of the original at all. I don't know how they could fuck up the mask so bad. It's like the cheapest prop in the history of movies.
Yeah, they literally grabbed it at like a dollar store or whatever the first time, and then altered it. But yeah, I don't know, dude. It's not like it's that crazy of a look. Maybe that's the thing. It's just simple enough where it's hard to replicate because you don't really know what it looks like because it smooshes around the actor's head and it. I don't know. At this point, I think they also heard that.
Yeah, it was probably they probably couldn't get an original. I think they shot with another mask that was an original mask, and it's all like discolored because it's from the 70s. And they ended up reshooting with this mask. But yeah, the mask is fucking terrible. Yeah. Whoever was the production designer at this should be, chased out of Hollywood. Yeah. But, they made us wait, 7 years for another Michael Myers movie, and they couldn't even make a decent mask. So there's a scene where Michael attacks Jamie, but it's just a dream, and her adopted family finds her freaking out in her closet.
Yeah, she's like
a picture of her dead mother.
She like goes to the door, or like Michael's in the room. She runs over the door. There's another Michael there, and he's like droopy, where you like your eyeballs pop out. You're like, I can't believe Droopy's here. You're the wolf, and you run out and you like drive to the mountains, and you get to your cabin. You lock up the door, and Michael's right behind you. Shit, how do you even do that?
Yeah, this is the first time they've made Michael Myers like supernatural. So now like she's having visions of him or whatever.
Right.
I don't like it. The next morning, the Carruthers family is all congregated at the kitchen. And, this is a pretty menial detail, but I thought it was kind of funny that Ruth is on a diet and her mother is like concerned that she's not eating enough. And, what people thought was diet food in 1988 is kind of hilarious because Ruth is eating a softball-sized roll with either butter or cream cheese and whole milk.
Oh my gosh,
that's her idea of like a health conscious breakfast.
Choice, yeah.
Just carbs and fat and lots of dairy.
Well, maybe
make sure you eat lots of whole milk.
That's not even keto or anything. Yeah, what the hell kind of diet is that?
Yeah.
It's the no veggie diet, Gary.
Yeah.
It's all milk.
That's what people thought was healthy in the 80s. They're like, oh, you got to go on a diet. Better eat a big roll for breakfast.
Maybe that's all she ate all day. Maybe that's the diet. That's her food for the day. Yeah. 80s is wacky, and waxy. Also, what a nice dog, huh? Don't they have a nice dog?
Yeah, you like that dog?
Uh-huh. I know.
I bet Michael's going to like that dog,
Oh, no. We'll find out.
So Jamie's babysitter calls and cancels, and the family wants Ruth to stay home from her date that night and watch her adopted sister. And Jamie hears the family arguing, and she starts like acting all sad and depressed.
I mean, wouldn't you if your parents had died and your
kids had
adopted
trauma.
family was like, fuck this guy?
The acting is decent enough, but the whole thing feels a bit like a soap opera or like a TV movie.
Yeah. Like, I want to go with my friends.
Yeah.
No, I got to take care of your adopted sister.
Yeah.
Oh, but I hate her. Oh, she's right behind me. Yeah.
And finally, the film introduces Dr. Loomis, and he's 10 years older. His face has been mutilated from the fire, and he's chewing out the doctor at the facility for transferring Michael without telling him. And then right in the middle of their conversation, the phone rings about an accident, and Loomis doesn't even have to hear anything. He heads right to the scene where, predictably, the police don't take the threat of the now 31-year-old mental patient very seriously.
He's an evil on two legs. I'll tell you again for the trillionth time. It's funny that the other doctor in this room who like got the call, he says to Loomis, I'll say it again, you're the one who needs mental help.
Yeah. So
I like this idea because it starts to play into the idea of like mental health. Because you know, the core of this movie kind of is Michael's an insane person, right? And the mental facilities really haven't helped him. And
well, he's been in a coma. He hasn't been getting help. He's just been in a coma for 10 years.
But what that can set up then, I guess, what I liked in the movie is the idea that maybe Loomis is crazy. Maybe Michael's still in the coma.
Yeah, he's crazy because he's been through a traumatic event. He's got fucking PTSD.
He's the killer, even, you know, is what kind of the seed was planted.
No, Russ, he's not the killer.
I mean, I know, but watching it, I was like, maybe he's you know.
I gotta fucking listen to your theories on this for an hour now. But here, maybe. So next is possibly my favorite scene in Halloween 4. This is where Dr. Loomis pulls into the gas station to find Michael has already been there. Mm-hmm. And he walks through the mangled bodies and spots Michael standing in the back of the diner. And he pleads with him to stop and not go to Haddonfield. And then he just starts firing his gun at him.
Yeah.
Fucking great performance by Donald Pleasance.
Yeah. I mean, he's been tormented by the idea of this guy getting out, and he got out again. Mm-hmm. And in fact, he goes straight to a mechanic shop where he can get his great classic mechanic outfit. Yeah. And it's on Halloween, so he can get an easy Halloween mask or whatever the hell. Actually, he doesn't have the mask yet, right?
He doesn't have the mask yet. He's still bandaged up.
Right. We saw the mask, but it was just a dream sequence. And so now at this point, he's just bandaged up from his coma.
But this is what keeps me watching this generally low-quality film. Like, I would be happy if they just focused on Loomis and, you know, here's Michael.
When Michael disappeared, that's what I'm saying. I was like, oh, wait, maybe he wasn't even there. Maybe Loomis is imagining Michael. And he's actually the killer, right? He shoots at him, and suddenly, you know, Michael's not where he was shooting. He doesn't even hit Michael because he's not even standing there in the doorway.
No, he's really there. I think he brings the cops to it later.
No, he definitely is. Yeah. He definitely is there. He killed all those people and stole the guy's uniform. Yeah. But my point is, it could, if my theory was correct as the movie progressed, and Loomis was the killer, he could always put on the mask.
Loomis isn't the killer, dude.
Yeah, but watch.
There's been 12 of these movies. Loomis has never been the killer. The killer is Michael Myers. I don't know.
Yeah, but maybe this time of year.
Yeah. All right.
Just the return.
All right. So Michael steals a truck and he hits a gas pump, causing an explosion.
Oh, yeah. Loomis got to jump out the way. Now we're pumping up the stunts.
This is very stupid.
With stunt time, he jumps through some barrels and the car hits a gas can and it explodes the whole
It's pretty
gas
cheese
station.
dick stuff. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
But also, no.
What?
Never mind. It's not Fight. It's not Fight Club. Yeah. It's not Fight Club. It's Halloween 4. Loomis is not the killer.
Yeah. So there's a scene with Jamie at school where she gets bullied about her uncle being Michael Myers. And this scene feels kind of similar to the kid getting teased in the first Halloween. Mm-hmm. And then all the kids just start chanting, "Jamie's an orphan." And she runs out of the school
Pretty
crying.
rude.
Pretty harsh.
Gary, have you ever chanted or made fun
of the orphan at school?
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in the 90s, Russ. That's what you did.
That's what you did? Okay.
Yeah, you just threw rocks at the foreign kid.
Maybe we said foreign.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about orphans.
Oh, no, the orphans too. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Whoever was different, whoever stood out a little bit, you would,
berate and
let them know they're not welcome.
Yeah. Obviously. It shows, Gary. It shows that it's the type of person,
I actually think
I think you are.
My generation was super not racist. It was really like the generation before mine.
Sure.
So racist.
Like our folks.
Like your dad. Your dad hates black people.
Oh my God.
It's just fucking, I don't know what they did to him, but.
Well, that's why I go as blackface every Halloween.
I used to hear so much racist shit from the kids that were older than me at school, but I feel like my generation grew up with hip hop culture, so they weren't as racist.
Right. A little more integrated, a little more understanding. Yeah.
So after school, Jamie and Ruth are picked up by Ruth's friend Lindsay, who was supposed to be the little girl from the original film. And they take Jamie to the drugstore to buy her a Halloween costume.
Right, after talking her into doing a Halloween thing, even though she says, I hate it.
Seems like an interesting choice. I mean, Haddonfield must be a real shithole if you have to buy Halloween costumes at the drugstore.
Back in the day, you could get everything at the drugstore. You could get drugs. Or
I don't know, man. It's 1988 and they still don't have like a Kmart.
Yeah. I mean...
No wonder Michael Myers went crazy and killed his sister.
He's trying to
grow up in this shithole.
He's trying to get those discount Kmart condoms.
Yeah.
To put out in all the kids' bags.
Seriously, that's terrible. The only place to get costumes in the town is the fucking drugstore.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's the only place walkable. Yeah, it's Haddonfield,
What
dude.
do you mean walkable? They're in a car.
It's Illinois?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing out in Illinois, dude. Come on.
Yeah. There's literally nothing in Illinois.
One drugstore in Illinois.
There's a Michael Myers mask very prominently displayed in the background of the drugstore.
Who made that? Why would you? Why would you make a mask like
that?
that?
They wouldn't want that in Haddonfield.
Yeah. And then someone's like, "Oh yeah, that one that looks like the killer that was here 10 years ago."
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm pretty sure that I sold this to a kid who got hit by the cops and burst into flames.
Yeah.
Maybe I should keep carrying this mask around.
Yeah.
Dumb. But hey, it's there, and
It's there very prominently. And then Jamie finds the same clown costume her uncle was wearing when he murdered her aunt in 1963.
well, you think it was the exact same one?
It's similar. I don't know. I don't think it's the exact same one.
Oh, I mean, it's not his.
It's not his. Yeah,
Right,
but
yeah,
it's
that one's covered in
same
blood.
Clown costume.
Clowns.
And then we see Michael's.
I was a clown for Halloween. A
you were
couple
a
times. I think I went 2 or 3 Halloweens as a clown.
Yeah.
Back when clowns were funny.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Are clowns funny? Not anymore. Now they're scary. You got to be a scary
You
clown.
gotta be a scary clown.
Even if you're a funny clown, you're scary.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
clowns.
Yeah, I guess that whole thing started with John Wayne Gacy, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Hey,
That really tainted the clown.
and then I think
Then it, and then I think the final nail in the coffin was really the Insane Clown Posse.
whoa, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Stretch your nuts back, fling them up your butthole.
Yeah.
I'm scared of a clown doing that to me. Jesus.
Yeah, I don't want a clown to take my nuts and put them in my butthole.
Bathroom, sure. It's
That
right
sounds
there
terrible.
down the hall. Don't flush it, though. I'll make dinner for you all. I'm possessed, too. Anyway, I'm not going to go and sing all of the Insane Clown Posse's lyrics, but I could.
Yeah.
Tune into my other...
Russ is a big juggalo. Right?
Yeah, man. Magnets. How the hell do they work?
I don't know. I don't get any of these references.
Damn, I guess I am kind of an ICP fan.
So then we see Michael's gnarled hand grab the mask, which looks like a generic... Yeah, and this mask, it does kind of look like a generic drugstore knockoff of a Michael Myers mask. So that might actually explain why the mask looks bad in the movie. It's like a purposeful decision.
But that doesn't explain why Michael's hand makeup looks like they ripped it out of the storage from Maniac Cop 3 and just like glued it to his hand with a little bit of fucking Elmer's.
And it's not the only effect. There's like inconsistent makeup in this movie. Like Dr. Loomis's face.
Oh, yeah. It's
Sometimes it's like... At one point, it has like a big mole thing on it, and then it just looks like Freddy Krueger face. It just looks like a completely different effect.
It was probably that they were applying it on the day, and that depending on...
Or they did reshoots and they couldn't hire the same effects guy.
Yeah, maybe. It might have not even have been appliance. Like I'm saying, it might have just been like gel they like gooped onto his face on the day, and then so the inconsistencies were like they didn't take production photos to see like how
the quality
exactly
of the makeup in this film is not very good. And then Michael pops out at Jamie and scares the shit out of her. And at first you're not sure if this is another dream scene, but then you see Michael pull away when everyone rushes to Jamie's aid. So I guess this actually happened. Yeah, you wanted to talk about when Loomis is trying to hitchhike.
Yeah. He
gets pranked by all the
Halloween
cool kids.
stores happening and all that stuff, and then meanwhile, Loomis is trying to he keeps sticking his leg out with his fishnets on, trying to get cars to stop, but his horribly disfigured face, no one wants to stop except for a convertible full of cheerleaders.
Yeah. Loomis gets to Haddonfield by blowing truck drivers. It's the only way he knows how.
Right.
But unfortunately, he's been put in that position because Michael Myers ruined his car.
Right. And, actually, he keeps having to do it because the truck drivers either they keep splitting off and going their own way, or they only want to drive him so far. He's not a super great company. He's kind of boring, and he talks about Michael a lot being like the devil. And
Yeah.
anyway, it kind of ruins the blowjob, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So get out, old man. Anyway, it's all these cheerleaders want him to jump in their thing, and I was like, oh, this is a funny sequence where it's gonna be like Loomis and the cheerleaders cruising down the road, and then it becomes like whatever, like weird surfer movie. But no, it's a prank, and they spray him with the rocks from the tires.
Yeah.
Which is pretty rude. But luckily, he gets a ride from this random preacher who kind of appears out of the smoke behind Loomis. And this guy's drinking on the road, and he's like my favorite part of the movie. He calls out Loomis for being like a demon hunter sort of deal. He is also, and I don't know what else to say about this guy. He was great. The performance was so funny.
Well, this scene like it puts up a mirror to the Loomis character. So like, this is what he's become. He's as crazy as this guy. This is why he's the only person that's willing to take him.
That they could, okay.
And he has to just kind of deal with that.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
they're both hunters. I don't know why they didn't team up.
But yeah, it's a veteran character actor. He's in lots of stuff. I think he's in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, right?
Classic.
But anyways, back at the drugstore,
clear as breasts in blue suede shoes. I guess that's the whole reason I wanted to say that. He had that line, and I think I'm going to start using it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it means, but I'm going to start using it.
I don't know what it means either.
Sorry. Back in Haddonfield.
So while Jamie's looking at costumes, her foster sister Ruth is talking to the boy she's dating, Brady.
Oh, he's got eyebrows like fucking.
He's got some sharp eyebrows.
Marx Brothers, dude. They're big. They're huge. Yeah. Taking up his dude. They're clear as breasts and blue suede shoes.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I'm saying?
And so Ruth can't go out with Brady tonight. So, he's pushing to like come over afterwards instead. The subtext here is Brady wants to have sex with Ruth.
Oh,
they haven't had sex yet, and Ruth is kind of unsure.
Right. He's got such big eyebrows. Is he even able to make?
He's not able to have sex because of his eyebrows?
Yeah, they're getting in the way all the time. Yeah.
He's trying to like eat her pussy, but his eyebrows are too big.
Keeps tickling her belly.
Yeah. So the Ruth character, much like Jamie Lee Curtis in the original Halloween, is the virginal and more reserved type, and the movie is seemingly setting her up to be the final girl in line with all the 80s slasher movie cliches.
Mm-hmm. Classic. You gotta have it.
Not great character development, though.
No. We're just filling the roles.
It's like, first of all, what do you want? What? Do you want this boy or not? Because she's like, first she's upset that she can't go out with him. Then she's upset that he's interested in the other girl. But she doesn't want to have sex with him. So it's like, the character's kind of confusing.
Yeah. Well, Gary, relationships aren't all about sex.
Teen relationships are very confusing. Right, Russ?
Yeah. I think that's the point.
Yeah.
I only had one relationship as a teenager.
Yeah, with a much older family member.
Well, I mean, they were more like a teacher.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, you know what I'm saying?
In a lot of ways, and in a literal way that they actually taught you at school.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, that's a joke. I just wanted to let everyone know.
Yeah, Russ was molested. So Michael breaks into the Crothers' house while everyone's out, and he goes through Jamie's old photos, and he finds one of himself as a child, and he flips it over, either because he's a dissociative voyeur and he doesn't like looking at himself, or it's just an embarrassing photo.
Embarrassing. It's probably why he goes killing again. Yeah. How dare someone have an embarrassing photo?
It's like it's either like a deep psychological thing, or his response is just like, "Oh, geez, I can't believe my mom made me wear that."
On picture day, even.
It doesn't make a lot of sense for Jamie to have a photo of her uncle from the night he killed her aunt.
Hell no. Why would she have that?
That's strange.
Why would that be in a box anywhere?
Yeah. No wonder this kid is having panic attacks and hallucinations. Maybe if they just got those photos out of there, she'd be
yeah, she couldn't
a little bit better off.
Study a murdering uncle that she's never had to deal with.
While trick-or-treating with Jamie, Ruth catches Brady at Kelly Meeker's house.
Oh, Brady, you piece of shit.
Yeah. He's trying to hook up with the sheriff's daughter, which seems risky.
Yeah.
You don't want to end up on the wrong side of the sheriff.
She is very pretty and like doing all the classic 80s like blowing bubble gum and like ponytail like sex symbol sort of nonsense.
Yeah, the sheriff's daughters always seem more sexually active in these Halloween films.
That's because I don't know. It's either that they can't get laid because everyone's worried about the sheriff, or
no, they're all getting laid. Annie was Sheriff Lee Brackett's daughter, and she was the more promiscuous of the friend circle.
I guess that's true.
Much like the lovely Kelly Meeker, played by Kathleen Kinmont. And then Loomis arrives in Haddonfield, and he warns the new sheriff, Ben Meeker, that Michael has returned. Loomis and the sheriff go to Jamie's house to check on her, and they find her dog has been killed.
No!
So now they know Michael's been there.
Shit,
That's Michael Myers' MO. He really hates dogs. Or he loves dogs, and he just doesn't know how to pet them properly.
Yeah, he just cuddles them to death.
Yeah.
I was like, this dog had a cute name like Cupcake or some shit at the beginning, too.
Oh, yeah, they really set up for this.
And, yeah.
The filmmakers are really checking all the boxes. It's like wears masks, kills dogs.
That's
Who needs
Michael.
John Carpenter?
Yeah.
You know?
Wears a mechanic suit.
Yeah.
There you go.
Next, Michael Myers shuts down the power for Haddonfield in a pretty ridiculous scene.
I mean, he also was able to cut the long-distance telephone lines in and out of the city, apparently. Right? Which is why
he knocked the telephone line out when at the gas station.
Oh, that's how he did it. Good. All right. But he also...
that big explosion out of nowhere.
But then he also goes to the power station for some fucking reason.
Yeah, he's at the power station walking around, and he's stopped by a guy with a hard hat that says Bucky.
Good old Bucky.
And this must be a restricted area because Bucky is pretty aggressive.
Right.
Bucky was acting like a real Karen. He's like, don't try that Halloween shit with me. I'm on the phone with the police right now. Don't you even think about leaving.
Yeah. I mean, you stay right there. That makes sense.
And then Michael Myers throws him into the transformer, killing him and shutting down the power all over Haddonfield.
Oh, how convenient. Why would was Michael's plan to shut down the power?
That's what I've always wondered. Because as a kid, I assumed that Michael Myers was just like randomly walking by the power station, but that doesn't really make sense, right?
I feel like, if we take what we learned from Halloween 2, in that he knows how to use syringes,
cut off the power to the hospital.
He can keep a car looking like it works, but he actually cut the fuel and slashed the tires, and various other like clever systems. This guy knows what's up. He actively blew up the thing probably so he could cut the phone lines. And now he's, turned off. He went to the power station so he could turn off the power in the goddamn city.
Yeah.
This guy, also, you got to remember, he's 31 now. He was 21 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Now he's our age, Gary. He's a older man. You guys, he's been in a coma. And he's still a stunted murder child.
Yeah, you got to wonder where Michael is at mentally. Because, first of all, he was stunted already. He murdered somebody when he was 6, and he was in a mental institution.
Didn't talk to anybody except this old man.
Yeah, and then he was in a coma for 10 years. So he's basically a 31-year-old, 6-year-old, or 21-year-old. I don't know. Wherever he's at, he doesn't have normal development.
Yeah.
So some dogs are going to get choked. Some dogs and some cute girls.
All right. I guess that's the movie I signed up for.
Yeah.
Go choke a dog and a lady.
Yeah.
Go choke a bitch and a bitch.
Yeah. So next, Michael Myers wipes out the police station, which it really just looks like one guy. When Loomis and the sheriff show up, the place is a mess, but it just looks like there's just one body.
One chunky body.
Yeah.
We're not actually sure.
That's all they could afford.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they turn all the lights out.
Then a gang of armed townsfolk turn up, and Loomis riles them up by telling them Myers is on the loose. So now the Haddonfield militia is out in full force, and they mistake someone for Myers and shoot him almost immediately.
Yeah. Well, there's this
it's
cool.
Kind of funny.
There's this cool, like, plucky military version of the Halloween theme too. While they're doing it, it's only
is there?
It's only like 10 seconds long, but it's like however it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, then the mob just toast. I like that the cop calls these guys beer bellies.
Yeah.
Instead of calling them what they really are.
What are they really?
Come on,
What? I don't know.
No. I've set up this joke to not even be funny.
Come on, Russ, swing it out of the park.
Republicans.
Oh, that's what you got. Oh man, Russ.
Funny.
That's just lazy.
I'm lazy.
No, actually, we all support equal rights around here, boy. Maybe you should get a little bit more educated before you come to Haddonfield.
Yeah.
What if they're way more progressive than you?
Well, they're not necessarily rednecks, is the thing, right? They're like
they're just working class people.
Class people. Yeah.
People that you hate and think that you're better than, Russ. So
obviously.
Just mock them out. They're stupid Republicans because they didn't have $100,000 from their daddy to go to college like me. Right?
That didn't happen.
God forbid.
That did not happen, Gary. I wish, man. I wish. Otherwise, I'd be rich. I would have saved that money.
Yeah. That would have been wise.
Yeah, so anyway, this mob toasts some random dude
Yeah, they shoot this random guy almost immediately. So now there's no power and there's no police force and just people getting shot in the streets.
And also, so Loomis creates this mob, and then him and like the kid and some other people get surrounded by Michael Myers. But Michael Myers impersonators.
Yeah.
He just sent a mob of people off to shoot anybody who looks like Michael Myers. And now a couple of bros are joking around the fucking town wearing Michael Myers outfits, and yet that's it. That's the one iteration. We never see that again.
This town is really badly planned for this. Like, first of all, maybe don't let the drugstore stock Michael Myers masks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Era one.
Don't move him on Halloween. There's a lot of things that could have been done to prevent this scenario that just were blissfully ignored.
Yeah. Probably willfully ignored. You know?
So next, Rachel discovers Brady cheating on her with Sheriff Meeker's daughter, Kelly. And she loses track of Jamie. And after being chased by Michael, Rachel finds Jamie. And then Sheriff Meeker and Loomis arrive and take the girls to safety. Mm-hmm. And the next scenario that the movie sets up is kind of interesting because Ruth and Jamie are taken back to the sheriff's house for safety, which means that Ruth is forced to confront Brady and Kelly Meeker. There's a scene in the kitchen when Ruth, confronts Kelly and then just throws hot coffee on her massive breasts.
She does.
Just piping hot coffee right on the sheriff's daughter's ample bosom.
That's pretty rude, and I bet that's really hot.
It's fucking crazy. This is the same sheriff that you're depending on, to take care of you in an emergency. And she just throws...
You're assaulting her daughter.
Boiling hot coffee right on her barely protected milkers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she has...
She has
great body.
Massive breasts.
There's a scene where her and Brady are getting it on, and she starts to remove her bra, and there's almost nudity, but there's not. This movie could be PG-13.
They don't show her topless, but her breasts are massive, and I think there's some sort of weird balance in the universe that always makes the sheriff's daughter have massive breasts. Because that makes it worth the risk of being caught with her. It's like a flower amongst thorns must smell twice as sweet to attract birds.
Oh.
That's why Ruth is jealous and dumps Folgers on Kelly's happy slappies.
You with your nicknames. It's like a Mike Myers bit. Oh, speaking of Mike Myers.
Yeah, well, get the bit, Russ. Think of a funny name for tits and
Jumbly Bumblies.
That's terrible. Come on, man. You can't think of one funny thing for tits?
Boobly woobly.
You're just making rhymes. You're just making arbitrary rhymes.
Is that not comedy?
I guess so. So the sheriff and his deputy barricade the house, and Loomis departs to look for Michael, who they're unaware actually hid in the back seat of the other squad car, bringing him right to the sheriff's house.
Just laying there breathing.
Yeah, he does that. Which is always interesting that people don't notice just this, this 6'2" guy laying in the back of their cars.
All the time.
But Michael sneaks into the house and he kills the deputy and the lovely Kelly Meeker. And this death scene is interesting, I guess, because he just impales Kelly Meeker with a shotgun, which you think would be like too blunt, especially considering it pins her to the door. Mm-hmm. But I guess there's a tradition of bullshit physics going back to the first film.
For sure. I mean... it was kind of a twist. She thinks that the sheriff or like sheriff's deputy is like sitting there in the chair, but then when she turns on the light, he's all crumpled up, his neck's broken,
he's dead,
into whatever,
Michael.
And it's Michael sitting in the chair with the shotgun. And here I was like, oh, is Michael gonna shoot a gun? But actually, he just rams it through her chest, through the wall, thus pinning her to the wall again.
Just rams it right through her.
Not really. Didn't make sense, but
I guess the only way to explain it is that Michael Myers has inhuman strength.
Right. And he keeps coming back.
He's got retard strength. Every time he sees a dog or a pretty girl, he gets excited and somebody ends up dying.
Yeah.
It's not his fault. It's not that he doesn't like them. He loves them. He just doesn't know how to express it like a normal human. So Rachel and Jamie flee to the attic while Brady stays to heroically fend off Michael Myers.
He has a gun.
Yeah, and then Michael Myers snaps his neck.
Oh.
And the girls climb through the window onto the roof, and Ruth is able to lower Jamie down safely, but Michael attacks her and knocks her off the roof.
Oh.
Knocking her out, and then Michael continues in pursuit of Jamie, which I think that's what's most weird about this rendition of Halloween is that Michael is trying to kill a small child.
Yeah, it is weird, but she's related to him, right? So that's why he's got to do it.
It is, but as a movie viewer, you know it's not going to happen. Like, obviously, these filmmakers aren't going to let Michael Myers kill this 9-year-old.
Right.
Like they would let him just kill a teenager in another Halloween film. And once you realize that, it kind of ruins the movie.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they kill a child in a later Halloween movie, the Hunter kid.
Yeah.
And that was
a little older.
Yeah, I guess he's like...
But yeah, they do. But that's...
Yeah, no, that's different. You're right. It is kind of they wouldn't kill... It's like a final girl thing. You know they're not going to kill...
Well, it's like the whole point of the movie is like, is he going to get her? But you know, obviously he's not going to get her. Like, it would be the first time ever that a movie was that bold.
Right.
So, this movie has a very polarizing twist ending, but would have really been unexpected is if they had Michael Myers catch up to little Jamie and kill her on screen.
No.
Nobody would have seen that coming.
Yeah. Just stabs her to the wall and
just
then
slits a small child's throat. And the movie just gets sad.
What does he do after that? What would Michael do? He just killed the last of his kin or whatever. Would he
I don't know what he would do.
Take a nap, jerk off?
Just take off the mask and take it easy now. Mission accomplished.
I'm gonna go back to school.
Yeah.
I hope Miss Karimski's still teaching third grade.
Yeah.
Third grade, dude. He was 6. That he's gonna be in first grade.
Yeah, he wasn't even in third grade, huh?
Dang. That's all right.
So Jamie runs and
who needs school, dude? When you got brute strength,
right? I mean, Michael Myers didn't have school, and look what he accomplished. So Jamie runs and finds Dr. Loomis, and they take shelter in the school.
Speaking of school, why do they go to the school?
It's a strange choice. I guess it kind of makes sense because the power is out, and they want to go somewhere that has emergency alarm. Maybe they have a generator at the school, so I don't know. It doesn't make total sense, but it's also not the stupidest thing.
I guess not, but yeah, sure. All right, Michael, go back to the place where Michael's comfortable. Go to school.
Yeah. So Michael appears and he throws Loomis through a glass door, and this is the scene where like suddenly the mask is different.
Oh,
it's like the mask looks kind of pink and the hair is blonde.
Right? Yeah.
I believe this is an actual scene with an original William Shatner mask that they used as a test or started filming with, and then they had to reshoot, and they just didn't have the time to reshoot these 2 shots.
Sure.
It does stand out though.
I accept that more than I accepted Loomis smashing out of a school window. Do you remember school windows, dude? Those shits are reinforced with like little wires, right? There's like shit inside the glass to stop it from shattering, right?
Yeah, maybe if it's a new school.
No, old schools, man.
Only in the 80s, but I'm sure previous to that they were pretty shitty. Like every window in an apartment I've had in California is the shittiest window.
Oh yeah, no, Michael could come in and smash my head through this window, no problem.
Pane windows.
But school windows, I thought had like a wire mesh inside it a lot of time, and so you could really like smash. It was to prevent kids from breaking in or breaking out of school.
Oh, maybe.
They design schools like prisons, you know.
It doesn't prevent Dr. Loomis from going through that fucking glass.
No, he's mad. That's what I'm saying. Michael must have thrown him with his gorilla strength through that like reinforced glass. And
and then Rachel shows up and subdues Michael with a fire extinguisher, which is kind of dumb.
Guns don't stop him, but he's gonna get
he just runs away from the fire
screwed up with a fire extinguisher.
And the mob of townsfolk arrive, and some men agree to drive the girls to the next town.
Which is great. I thought they were going to they'd be like, no, justice, we got to get this fucker. And then they'd all go into the school and they'd get picked off one by one. But no, they think smart and they say, hey, let's get out of here.
Yeah, it's true. And then Michael hides beneath the truck and climbs aboard and kills the 4 men.
Freaking like Cape Fear. He's just
who also like these men should get the fuck out of there. They're murderers. They're gonna go to jail once the police force is back.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck they're still doing in
that they murdered that random person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, how was Michael hanging off this truck? He's not. He's definitely
supernatural, bro.
I joked about it, Gary. I was like, what if he's hanging off this truck? And then he fucking was, and I was like, oh my god.
This movie does at times feel like a parody of itself.
And also, so Michael's in the back beating these 4 guys up, who are like jumping around and tackling him, and everybody in the front doesn't realize that did you ever been on the back of a truck or been in the front when someone's on the back scratching their ass? The whole thing just shakes. You can't move in a truck and not have everybody know that the suspension's bouncing around.
Yeah,
if you got 4 big guys shooting their guns at this freak who's punching him and tackling him and wrestling him, you're gonna know. But movies, I'm gonna, I guess, forgive it because they're driving so fast. It's loud.
Yeah, it's all it's like something out of an 80s action movie. And then Rachel takes the wheel and throws Michael off the truck.
Nice.
And rams into him, sending him into a ditch near an abandoned mine. Sheriff Meeker, Loomis, and the remaining mob of townsfolk arrive, and the state police arrive. And then Jamie approaches Michael and like holds his hand, and he just like sits up.
Well, why?
It's a good question, Ross. This is part of the supernatural element of Michael and whatever the fuck's going on in this movie.
Okay.
And then Meeker, the state police, and the lynch mob shoot Michael until he falls down the abandoned mine shaft.
Yes.
Which we already know guns don't kill Michael Myers. I don't understand why Dr. Loomis is like, oh, great, he's dead. Like, you've seen him get shot so many times.
Yeah. But not with automatic weapons, Gary. We've seen him shot like 6 times with a revolver that should have blown up his head.
Yeah.
But we've never seen him with like automatic weapons. And this, I think, is a perfect example of why we need automatic weapons with high capacity magazines, because in case any shit like this,
I think the sheriff does have some serious weapons.
That's what I'm saying. In case any shit like this goes on to my family, I want to protect them and be able to pump that psycho full of bullets, because I know he's going to come back.
Russ, you don't have a family.
Yeah, but that's, I will someday. So I want the gun first. It's not putting the cart before the horse.
Sure.
It's important. I want to have the protection so I can have a family, Gary. You understand? Once I start having kids, and then this psycho who comes back from the dead tries to murder me and my family, I need to have him protect. So I can't go into that without
That's very
the gun.
responsible of you, Russ.
So,
and so that's how this movie takes care of Michael Myers.
blast him to death.
And now for like the big twist ending. And, Loomis and Meeker take Jamie and Rachel back home.
Oh, by the way, Loomis is fine. He got thrown through some reinforced shit, but he's back. And
Loomis is
I'm
fine. Loomis has, been through an explosion, and he's been thrown through glass doors. But he's holding up pretty well. So Loomis and Meeker take Jamie and Rachel back home, and
Michael's been sent back to hell, where he belongs.
Michael is, shot again. And as her adopted mother goes upstairs to run a bath for Jamie, we see POV shots similar to the original Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And Jamie's mother is suddenly attacked. And when Loomis goes to check out the scene, he finds an emotionless Jamie holding a pair of bloody scissors. Just as Michael was found with the knife when he killed his own sister. And Loomis starts screaming no repeatedly and raises his gun to shoot Jamie before the sheriff can stop him. And then he sinks to the floor sobbing.
It's crazy. Honestly, I did not see this ending coming.
Yeah,
I don't know why I didn't, but it was a great
twist. Kind of dumb, but Donald Pleasance's performance is so fucking great. No,
right.
And he's just fucking. He really goes for it.
I think that's the thing. I think his terror really sells the fact that we really fucked up now, and now I have to shoot a child, but I don't want to, and we've created a monster.
After all he's been through, he's ready to just execute this child.
Right. To stop.
And the sheriff is like, you can't fucking shoot this child. And then when the sheriff sees what's up, he's also pretty disturbed. So I don't know. I got mixed feelings about this ending. Maybe it's not that bad. I always thought it kind of sucked, but
You know what? I think the ending for me was the best part of the movie. I think it like made the whole thing like, oh shit, okay. Now we've really done some damage beyond the damage. There's a little bit of setup for it,
but it also kind of feels like it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, which is why it kind of felt real surprising.
Also, I just don't like the supernatural element that they add to Michael Myers. It makes the whole movie kind of cheesy.
What's the supernatural element? That he keeps like coming back no matter what?
I don't know what it is. It's that he's linked to his family. There's obviously something going on that they don't really explain.
That he wants to kill. I mean, ultimately they will add some sort of curse of the thorn.
But in the original film, he's just a lunatic.
Yeah, he's just a lunatic. Yeah. Who stabbed his sister, and now he's back to stab others. And then in the second one, they were like, oh, but the one he was going to stab was actually his sister.
Yeah.
Or whatever, right? And now it's like, oh, but also the one he was going to stab is also his niece.
Yeah. But I mean, the movie has really good acting, and it's probably what kind of saves it.
Yep.
The little girl, it's a bold move to focus the whole movie on this little girl, and she does a great job. She's a really good actress.
Quite good performance.
The girl who plays Ruth is pretty good, even though the character development is kind of lacking.
Mm-hmm.
And then Donald Pleasance is amazing as Dr. Loomis. So overall, not as well made as John Carpenter's Halloween or Halloween 2, but it's a masterpiece compared to what was released later. under the Halloween name.
Mm.
So in hindsight,
Yeah.
it's like actually a pretty decent movie.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll probably give it 3 De Niro's. I think you could tune into it if you like the Michael Myers and you've always watched 1 and 2, and you want to keep going. Yeah, watch 4.
Yeah, if you're looking for a Halloween movie to watch this year, I think we could recommend Halloween 4. Right? Maybe?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. If you already watched Halloween 1 and 2,
Dude, like we said, you don't even have to.
and Halloween
you get
2018,
it. You get
then
it.
this is probably the next best
Yeah,
one.
he's a killer with a mask. You've seen it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, dude. I'm trying to think. So you don't think Donald Pleasance?
No, I don't think Donald Pleasance is really the
Was
killer.
actually
I don't-
Michael
I don't
Myers?
think that your theory works at all, but
Okay.
I'm glad you shared it, Russ.
Yeah. You know, a guy can hope. We'll see in the next movie. Pleasance comes back. Here's the thing, right? So we're playing on that.
They had to bring Pleasance back because who else are you
course.
going to bring back? He's the only actor that you can.
Right. So I had this theory that he kind of created Michael in the first one. In the second one, there's a line that's kind of throwaway, but it's like, I think you let him out, Doc, and the doctor's like, I did not let him out, and it's like you did.
Yeah,
Doc.
everybody's always mad at him, and it's like, no, he's the only one who takes this seriously at all. Everyone's like, oh yeah, Michael Myers, this fucking guy. Yeah, he shot him one time. Boom.
Yeah, you shot him once, and yeah, maybe you killed a couple people. Whatever. I'll still carry his mask at my drugstore.
Yeah.
I'll still.
And it's ruined this guy's life. As he's dedicated his whole life to making sure this dude never gets out again. And they just transport him without telling him.
Every time.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of want to watch other Halloween movies just to see if they keep doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's been a while since I've seen Halloween 5, but I'm pretty sure it just takes place right after this, and he just kind of gets up and leaves.
as he should.
He's fine.
Yeah. Cool. Well, he lives on, and I'm sure they'll make many more movies. So go see all the Halloween movies
Yeah, go watch all the Halloween movies.
in a row. Watch them all back to back to back to back to back to back. And, maybe you too can don a mask and go psycho and murder your whole family.
There you go.
I think that's the message here.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
It's interesting that the Halloween movies kind of created the aesthetic for music for our generation. Where like that's how bands dressed. They all wore jumpsuits and masks.
Yeah, sure. Slipknot and Gwar
Yeah.
and who the hell else?
All of them. The Backstreet Boys. They were a Friday the 13th
Smash Mouth
themed metal band.
Yeah.
And NSYNC.
Well, I mean, it's obvious that NSYNC is a Halloween themed
Yeah.
grunge band.
Yeah, the speed metal trio.
Trio with like 6 people. All right.
All right, I think we're running out of
Happy
steam.
Halloween, everybody.
Yeah.
Be well.
Fuck your mother.
Be safe. Don't kill people.